And we're live.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 113 of the Fans of Power podcast. I'm Tyler Baker, and with me, as always, is the Rotten Amato himself, the king of customization, the VIP of MOC, the tyrant of parts unknown. Since I'm trying to recover,
trying to get Apollo Creed to give me like Apollo Creed names, a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, pretty much kind of run down the list. I don't have as much bravada, excuse me, as the referee or the ring announcer in Rocky IV. He's running down the king of Sting and Rocky
with the big mustache, the big old mustache. That guy you're talking about?
Rocky III and Rocky IV. Yeah, that's what I was going for. But man, I really come off with an extremely monotone introduction for you, so my apologies. But by God, what I'm trying to say is Joe Amato is here with us here, as if people had who the man behind the mask is.
There you go. How's it going? Hey, let me just say hi to Tom Charlton in the chat room. Brad Collins, thanks for joining us. I think it's the first time you might be joining us live. And we got JSP, he's always here. So appreciate you guys being here, and hope you enjoy this show. So yeah, we got a lot of different topics that we'll be doing, Tyler. First, let's just get a couple quick things out of the way. First, as for like maybe some figures and things, I know that a lot of people have been finding, I think, Moss Man, like the Funko Pop Moss Man or whatever they are, a flock version at Toys R Us. Like people have been finding like crazy. He's been available for a few weeks, but it just seems like more and more people are finding him in case people are looking for him. Also, Target, I think, has the exclusive Faker Pop. I think it's a pop and not a Dorbs, because God, with the Dorbs and the pops, I start forgetting which is which. But I think it's a pop. And maybe if I'm wrong, somebody in the chat room will correct me. And also, hello, Jackie Miller in the chat room. But I'm trying. Do you know which one it is? That Faker at Target?
Target this past Tuesday, I didn't see any Faker or any He-Man pops for that matter. So you got me.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I just can't remember. And also, Funko did announce there's these little things that they're called pint-sized heroes. They basically look like those kind of like little pops or other things, but they're super small, and they said they're going to be making Masters of the Universe ones, and they showed like a big assortment of them that'll be coming out. And for people who don't know who or what those things are, like right here on my shirt, I have this, I get this like Friday the 13th shirt for Christmas, and this is a shirt that also came with a figure. It's like it almost looked like it came in the same type of packaging, if you will, for like a Funko thing, but it was big and square. And it came with this little exclusive Jason Voorhees in like kind of the, the NES Friday the 13th colors, but it came with this little guy. This is what you'd call a pint-sized hero. So when they do the Masters of the Universe things, that's what these things will be like, are these little shits. And yeah, the heads actually turn. I mean, it's, nothing groundbreaking, but it's cool because they're going to be cheaper in hell when they do come out. So, yeah, this is what they announced. They'll be doing little Masters of the Universe pint-sized heroes. So I didn't know if you even ever seen these, Tylers, but that's what these little suckers are.
I'm completely oblivious on a lot of current toy stuff and things like that. It's just everything that you mentioned for the most part. I mean, unless I happen to actually see the Moss Man stuff pop up, but that and Faker and some of the other stuff. I'm like, hell, I have no idea, man. I'm surprised. I guess it doesn't pop up for me to see, or I'm just missing it every turn. Or I don't check a whole lot of toy sites anymore. I just don't see a whole lot of, unless it's like San Diego, and I'll check through some of the stuff. Man, I'm so far removed from any new stuff. So that I'm glad you keep up with it, because I have no idea, man.
I mean, it gets overwhelming with the amount of stuff. It's cool though, but that's what I mean. Sometimes I mix up the pops with the vinyls, with the Dorbs. I mean, there's so many cool little things. But like I said, I just got a kick out of the shirt thing, because I was like, oh man, if they do those little pint-sized hero from Masters of the Universe, I can picture like like a He-Man or a Skeletor shirt, something like this. It's crazy little things that you get a kick out of. But just want to get those out of the way, and also say hello to Captain Chronic in the chat room. Thank you for joining us also. But the other, not super topical. It's not like we haven't heard it 5,000 times, but they announced now that it's happening, Tyler. You better get ready, man, because this time it's for real. You better get ready. They're gonna start shooting for the new Masters of the Universe movie this April. I mean, it's been confirmed, man. It's gonna happen. I mean, we've only heard things like this for 15 years, basically. But it's happening this time. So get ready. And believe me, everybody out there, I want it to happen. It'd be great, but I ain't holding my breath. If they actually start showing and shooting in April, I'm gonna get giddy. But I try not to have high expectations so I don't get shot down, as hard. So that's why I figure, oh, April, yeah, we've been hearing it a lot. But so did you hear that, Tyler? Did you hear the news? I'm sure you did.
Yeah, I didn't bother to read people's comments because for the most part, a lot of people just will see this idiotic article and just buy it hook, line, and sinker without even realizing that there's no final script. No one's been cast. There is no big announcements concerning, well, just anything regarding the movie other than they decided they're going to announce shooting in February, March, April. We're talking maybe 3 months with no big announcements as to who is that even a script has been finalized for this film. Of course, I didn't read the article. I just dismissed it very quickly. Maybe in all these articles they keep popping up that with like the most generic Google image of He-Man fan art that people can find attached to, hey, they start shooting this neighborhood, guys. You better get ready, man. If you remember anything, He-Man was that really goofy ass cartoon featured on, the toys that made us.
Yeah. So
no, I'm sorry. I just missed this, just like Tyler Perry movies in the bargain bin at Walmart. I could care less because there's no one's been cast. You're gonna sit there and tell me that it is as idiotic as Sony is with their decisions that they've announced a starting date of filming with no one has been cast and no announcement that, hey, look, the script's finished. We are working on casting, the major leads in this film. Nothing. So unless all of a sudden Sony decides to start just grabbing random people, whoever's available, it doesn't matter whether they're right for the part or not, and yet people are like, oh man, I told you guys, it's happening. Hey, Joe, I'm gonna take Joe Amato in this and see if he knows about this today. Did you see it, Joe? They announced it.
And you know what? I'll say it though.
Like, God, people, does anyone not realize that you can't shoot a movie without people in the movie?
No, but I will say, no, I honestly, I appreciate every time somebody does tag me about the movie because
no, I'm not knocking people who are tagging Joe. I'm saying that people are so excited that they're not stopping. It's like, wait a second, stop and think about what's just been announced here. Like when they announced the Venom movie is goofy. I can't believe I'm even saying that. At least they have announced that there was a lead in the film. But that was about it. I think they've announced one female cast member in the film, and that's it. There's no announcement of a villain or anybody else for that matter. But by God, they've already started filming a Venom movie with no Spider-Man. So with a He-Man movie that's been announced with no cast of He-Man, Skeletor, Teela, Sorceress, Man-at-Arms, Merman, Triclops, Evelyn, no cast, you really think that it looks good for a quality movie when there's a release date, a shooting date, and no one's been cast and no script has been finalized.
Yeah, and for anybody out there that's hearing when we're Tal and I are saying this, trust me, it's not that we're down on wanting a movie to happen. It's just we've been used to this for, like I said, it's been over 10, 11, 12 years. They really have at times said it's being shot right now. They have a script. This company's doing it. This director's doing it. This person's producing it, and it's changed. It's been over 12 years. It just keeps happening over and over. So it's like we feel like we've lost the excitement. When you're getting hyped up thinking something's going to happen and it doesn't, you kind of lose that, hopes of it's really happening. Would it be great if it happened? Sure. But I'm not holding my breath. That's the thing. I'd love for it to happen. It's just like Brad Collins. He asked us a question today, which it's a great question because he wanted to know if we were ever to get, a Masters of the Universe movie. He said, would you want just one movie where maybe they just, bam, hit us with all the characters you could think of in one big epic movie, or do it like trilogy style, like maybe a Lord of the Rings? And myself, I'm sure I would hope that the movie could come, it'd be super successful, and maybe we could get a good 3-part movie, not whether they're connected or not, but 3 good epic Masters of the Universe movies. One time with Skeletor and his warriors, maybe bringing in the Snake Man, maybe parts of the Horde, and Skeletor still coming back at the end to finally show that still he's the big baddie of the entire universe. I mean, I would like something in a big three-part if it could happen, because I love I love that question, Brad. I mean, it's a great question, but yeah, I just wouldn't want one movie. I wouldn't want them to rush and shove every single awesome character, because I don't feel like we get enough of them, if you know what I mean. Like, if like we had Clawful and you had, let's say, Rio Blast and Snout Spout and Stratos and everybody you can think of, I don't think we could get enough focus on seeing our favorite characters shine in just one movie.
I'm more about quality over quantity. As much as I would love to see, Clamp Champ and Cyclone and Mossman in a He-Man film and Too Bad and stuff, I would rather them make sure nail it down to Skeletor, Evil End, Beastman, and round it out probably with the traditional Merman, Trapjaw, and Triclops, and cut it off there if you go that far with it, and then throw in a bunch of cannon fodder army builder of like skeleton warriors or skelecons or some sort of generic,
even hoverbots, maybe the robot knight.
Like that. Just make it Skeletor and his crew traveling around in the Collector wreaking havoc on Eternia, and then keep it with He-Man, Man-at-Arms, Tila, Stratos, King and Queen,
Rayman,
and maybe Ram Man, if that. I always like mixing it up because I feel like every time that you see He-Man and Skeletor, it's always the same heroes and villains represented all the time. It's like, God, people, can't we see Too Bad and Cyclone more instead of just Man at Arms and Trapjaw, like Filmation style? There's a vast universe out there, and they just keep using the same damn characters. But for a movie, I would rather them focus on getting a select few of characters done properly. So that way, if you nail Triclops, Trapjaw, and Stratos, all right, you've got them established, okay? Maybe you have them show up for a brief and make it one finite film, because look, how many episodes of He-Man were multi-parters? Even at MYP, there may be continuity, but there wasn't a whole lot of two-parters. You can tell one single story of He-Man, of either an origin story or a story where we're already in the middle of this big battle here, and then just maybe throw in hints of the backstory, but make it one movie where your only focus is tying up this story between He-Man and Skeletor. Do not kill off anybody and do something stupid and foolish like that for shock value. And make it sound like, look, if we can't get another one, let's make sure we make the best damn He-Man movie we possibly can, because you can make multiple sequels, because for God's sakes, Filmation MYP alone, every episode wraps up. Whether Skeletor comes up with the biggest plan to destroy Eternia or capture Grayskull and gets his ass handed to him, he's right back 24 hours later on your local TV station with another concoction to take over Grayskull this time. So there's no reason.
Because you're right. Yeah, because you're right. There's a way that if we were to get other ones, they could find a way of, like, bringing back certain characters or just doing another story. But you're right. The one thing I wouldn't want them to do, if, like you said, first you got to establish one great movie. Hopefully it's so epic and it does so well, then it warrants them thinking, you know what, we might have it hit here. Let's make another one, and then possibly another. But don't, at the end of the first one, leave it with some goofy open-ended thing, meaning, let's say that they do that and the movie bombed at the theaters, and they're like, you know what, we're not doing any more of these. Then you're always left with that, damn it, it had that ending where you thought there was going to be. I always hate that. I hate when something is left like a cliffhanger and then you never get anything after it. So you're right. Just have one good epic movie. It has its beginning, middle, and an ending, and that's it. And if it does great, make more. If it doesn't do, fantastic, well, hell, at least you had one great movie, hopefully. But yeah, the open-ended stuff that always freaks me out, especially when you don't have, a lot of big power behind it. You're still testing the waters. You're trying to bring Masters back to the fans and the world that people have forgot about, or a new generation. So it's going to be tricky. But I'm sure, like I said, if it's ever done, hopefully just do it properly, make it a good quality movie. You hope it can be done, so you can only cross your fingers. But yeah, when I hear the stuff about shooting in April, it's like, I just wait. I'm like, let's see what happens. April comes. If they say it, great. If it doesn't, hey, I didn't get let down because I wasn't really anticipating something. If you know what I mean. I hate getting let down.
Let's just, for argument's sake, let's say they are sticking to this, which means they are going to half-ass the casting. The pre-production takes time. You're constantly checking with people's schedules, and I'm just going by the behind-the-scenes stories I listen to and have watched religiously on the pre-production, like what it takes to go into getting a movie cast, and who are you picking up for the special effects studio, and who are you picking up for this and for that. It's a time-consuming thing, and there has been virtually nothing. I mean, well, there has been nothing except David Goyer being announced as the writer and now director, which does not bode very well for a quality He-Man movie. You people can't really believe that this guy is going to deliver what all of us are sitting there, waiting and waiting and waiting, and we'll pace him back and forth like Scrooge McDuck in his thinking room on DuckTales, that we're finally going to get the He-Man film that has the transformation sequence and Battle Cat and Orko, for all you people like to bitch about those same two things over again.
No matter what's done, like you said, you'll never be able to please everybody. You're right. No matter what they do,
it just shows you that this is strictly not important to Sony and important to the powers that be at Sony and anybody that has anything to do with this film property. That no one's concerned about. Look, we've got this property. Why can't we try and make it into a big tentpole summer blockbuster film or a holiday film because of what's in this? We could really do something with this, and instead, you've probably got a bunch of studio execs who look at it and read it like, what the hell is this? We can't make a movie out of a big blonde-haired guy running around fighting a guy with a skull face and a big hairy henchman behind him. We can't do that. It's just, you just feel like you have everything's working against the fans for this to be a successful movie. You have nothing in favor that makes you feel like not only is it going to get done, but that we're actually going to be delivered something that, it may not be as epic as Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or even the attention getter of like the Harry Potter films, but something that's going to make He-Man fans giddy, get goosebumps, get hard nipples, and when the trailer lands on YouTube or on Facebook and Twitter, people are hitting repeat over and over and over again because of how damn good this thing is going to look. It's just, I'm sorry, people, there's just nothing exciting. There's nothing. There's nothing to cling to that says that it's going to happen, and if it does happen, that we're all going to be going out to get pre-order tickets,
and that's the other thing to let people know. We usually don't sit here and ramble about this so-called movie all the time. Only time we do it is when there's news. When news pops up, and we just basically want to cover, what we've heard and what we think about it, and that's it. And we usually just move on because you're right. I mean, sometimes it could be dwelled upon so much it seems like, God, this movie just makes your head explode, and that's why we don't like doing it. We only just, when there's some big so-called announcement, we give our 2 cents, then try to move past it. But yeah, so that's it. As for the movie, we just wanted to get that out of the way. But we're going to be going into some like character interpretations right now. And what led to this, I just had to bring this up. There's a Masters of the Universe fan out there. His name's Dan Rice. And him along with his sons, I mean, they're really into Masters of the Universe. And, well, what kind of started this was there was a post on one of these pages where it showed somebody was asking, who do you think would win between Merman and Leech? Just a fun little hypothetical. And then somebody posted a picture of Merman holding He-Man's power harness and standing above him, from the Al Cala mini comic Battle in the Clouds. And they said,
the Holy Grail and Holy Bible of
He-Man. Exactly. So they showed that, and they said, that answers it all. At first, I just want to say hello to Louis Coronado, because it might have been Louis. I can't remember if it was Louis or who it was. And also, wait, there was one other person in the chat room I want to say hey to. Daniel Maynard. Thank you for joining us. But so I just, I'm just joking. We never get into fights. It's just us razzing each other in these groups. And I said, all right, well, I said, did you know what led up to that scene, though, of Merman holding that power harness and standing above, He-Man? I was like, he didn't best him in battle. Just a few pages before, you seen He-Man sitting there flying, one of the sky sleds, and the wind blew him off the sky sled. He fell down, and he was knocked unconscious. And so Merman, seeing what happened, took advantage, came over to He-Man, and he picked up a rock, and He-Man was half dazed, unconscious, getting up, and then Merman just threw the rock on his head, just to knock him out again. And then he took it. I was like, so that's how I got it. And so then I was like razzing Dan Rice. I said something like, I was like, well, I said, if you noticed, I said in a panel later, Stratos flew by and hit Merman with a flying headbutt. So look how great Stratos is. And I said, And I hate Stratos. I said, he sucks. He's never one of my favorite characters. He's like, oh no, man, you didn't say that. He was like, my boy, he said, Philip. He said, Philip loves Stratos. I believe it's Philip that loves Stratos. Yeah, I think he said Philip loves Stratos. And I said, well, I'm going to give him a little hard time on the show. I said, I ain't being mean, but I'll let you know. I said, this is where character interpretations come up. Stratos in the cartoon for me was so. I mean, he flew and was cool. He shot, power out of his hands. I said, but as a toy, I said, Stratos, I said, I'm sorry. I said, I'm not trying to be mean. And sorry, Philip. I just hated the toy. I was like, you could go like this, like he's flying. I said, Stratos was my least played with toy. It's like, I barely ever played with that figure. I said, I just hated Stratos. So it kind of led to other characters. Like he said, his one boy, Alex, loves Modulok. And I was like, there you go. I said, that's my dude there. I said, hey, I got my Modulok basket. I was like, that's good taste. But he says his kids, they have an Xbox. I believe he says like they have an Xbox or video games. But he says when they have the choice of doing something, he says they're usually almost 90% of the time they go right to the toys and play with Masters of the Universe and modern toys too. But he says they love playing and using their imaginations. I just loved hearing that because it's what we said one week about, God, you just don't hear about kids using their imaginations. They're usually playing video games. But Dan Rice's kids is like, besides all of them doing that, and his youngest is Braxton too. He'll play with, some figures, but his older boys, they're doing some drawings, and I was hoping to have some here for the show, but maybe next week I will. But he's got some talented young kids. I mean, they're 9, 6, and 4, I believe, but, they were still doing some good drawings. But also I want to say congratulations, Dan Rice, that him and his wife, Kimberly, they just welcomed two two new twins of power, you might as well say. He has twins of power, and that yeah, Liam and Cole. So that's Liam and Cole are the newest, I guess, members of the family for Masters of the Universe. His family, our family, everything. So I just wanted to tell him congratulations on that. It's great that he's got some twins of power. But no, so it led to this. Like I said, it just came down. Louis Coronado says he really loves Stratos every time he showed up in the cartoon, and oh man, I hated him. But you go ahead, start talking about some of yours. But Stratos, I can't help it. It's like I just did not like that toy, and he barely thrilled me in the cartoon.
As someone who likes to sit there and promote people to use their imagination, especially children with toys, and Stratos requires probably the most imagination
I
of
get
action figures.
Yeah.
You need your ass kicked for that
Don't
one
I?
because I'd have given my left nut had I been given Stratos at my really young, impressionable age because I could not find Stratos until I think I was in first grade, I think, at a yard sale in Pennsylvania. And he had nothing on him. It was just the figure, no harness, no wings, nothing. I was so happy to have that Stratos because I desperately wanted to have one of the, many characters that were featured in Filmation. And here you are dogging that character as if like, dude, I'm so much better than this toy here. And you just like, throw it in the air and whatever. There's a guy I work with named David Taylor. I got him introduced to He-Man, and I swear that is the only character that he likes to in like continuously dog and sit there and say, Stratos isn't in that episode, is he? I'll check it out, but Stratos isn't in that episode, right? I'm like, God, man,
sounds like a cool guy. He sounds pretty cool. That's a cool dude. Tell him I said hi. That's all right.
I'll have to share that, but I just felt like I mean, even when people will slam Aquaman, like, dude, you're talking about a guy who can control the sea life in the oceans themselves. You're gonna sit there and say this guy sucks, so you can kiss my ass. So Stratos, is Stratos and Buzzoff to have two winged warriors.
I like Buzzoff. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, Buzzoff too, being a bee person too. They're both cool. I mean, visually and character wise, I just felt like I will say if we're talking interpretation, I like Filmation Stratos over MYP Stratos. I just liked Lou Scheimer's voice, and I just liked the visual of Stratos in that too.
What's for me? Unfortunately, sometimes it was I loved putting weapons in the character's hands, like when I would play with them. And when I was with Stratos, I mean, he had no weapons in his. But I mean, it was like I guess you could act like he's flying, but it's like this is just getting old. I just didn't enjoy it. It's not like he had power like Superman flying. He's just like I was like, I threw him off to this. I just got no enjoyment. It's so terrible, right? You figured, hey Joe, use your imagination, but I couldn't. Stratus just was so damn boring to me. So I had to let that out there. But hey, man, Philip, I mean, it's great that you love him, and like you said, you got T-Rex behind you. He's supporting you.
We could bury Joe 6 feet under and have Stratus come by and just drop a big poop on it as he flies by on Joe's grave there. So you keep supporting Stratos because Stratos is a badass. He is a quintessential character to the mythology. No matter what people say about the character or certain characters, every He-Man character deserves to be standing amongst the ranks of the heroes and villains, except for King Grayskull and Decker. They suck.
But you're right. There's some that, for toys could be really interesting in the cartoons. Like like now Mossman. Like let's just bring him up for example. Of course, that was a good gimmick of course, not only being a flocked toy, but it had a smell. He had a little bit of a weapon. But then when he came into like the Filmation cartoon, I just felt like I got nothing from him.
Terrible.
Yeah. That's what I meant. So there goes that interpretation that just, but then when it came to MYP, I was like, well, damn, you made Mossman cool when he came to MYP. It's, it's weird how you get different versions or interpretations. Some are so cool and some, but you never know. Some people like different things. Some people might have loved Filmation Mossman, but I never got into Filmation Mossman.
I mean, well, I almost feel like what Filmation, bombed at doing, like Too Bad, Cyclone, Mossman, Spike-Or. Well, we didn't get Spike-Or in MYP. Count Marzo. Sorry for Filmation Count Marzo fans. I can't stand the character, never have it. I never will, at least in Filmation. MYP goes through and makes Cyclone great, Mossman great, Too Bad great. Count Marzo gives him one hell of an upgrade. But then they take characters like Evelyn and make her it's almost unbearable to watch is Teela.
What didn't you like about Evelyn? I've always been curious about that.
What?
What was it about Evelyn and MYP you never liked? You said her voice, you think she was like over the top?
Try to sound so snarky and not in a fun way. Like I just, or she would overact sometimes. Whereas like Linda Gary captured like such great malice in her version of Evelyn. The voice actress who did Evelyn, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and reiterate some of the lines, but it's stuff that even me and my brother used to kind of make fun of because she's just like, God, she's just kind of like, I don't know. At times I felt she was kind of hammy, like just not to be taken seriously. Like in the episode of Rise of the Snake Men, or part 2, I think. Yeah, part 2. Where after Skeletor and the evil warriors have been taken out, and they say that Evelyn is going to be honored for her, betrayal of Skeletor, and she goes, "I am to be honored." It's just like, God, lady, take it down a notch. It's just like she was trying so hard to like, aren't I evil? Listen how evil I am. I'm just so, evil, so to speak, and not in a fun way. It was just obnoxious. Same thing with Teela. I didn't like either one of them. I just thought they were done so poorly. Whereas, and it's not that's what I grew up on. So you must like the old stuff because your grandpa Tyler's sitting on your porch. I was like, no, it's not that at all. I just feel like she captured that tone perfectly. Linda Gary did. She's doing both of them. I don't know if the actress who did Teela and Evelyn and MYP is the same. I have no idea. Never bothered to look because I didn't like either one of them.
Well, it's like you said, you didn't sit there. You're not always choosing Filmation because you just gave an example of where you said like Count Marzo. You loved MYP's Count Marzo and hated Filmation.
And I didn't see Count Marzo until high school when I got the entire series on bootleg. And I sat and was like, who the hell is this guy? A Shakespearean villain? And I was like, I can't take this guy seriously. And it's John Irwin's doing like this kind of very aristocratic voice. I'm like, God, there's no way I can take this character seriously as a threatening villain on He-Man. But when I read the synopsis for Mechanix Lament, years ago when the 2000 X cartoon was brand new, we were given the synopsis ahead of time. You saw what episode was going to be on. Like Count Marzo, I'm like, and me and my brother were like, God, I bet he's going to look kind of cool in this just because of what they've done with the upgrades for characters. And sure enough, we see it and like, me and my brother both like, God, man, Count Marzo's a badass in this.
They did. No, they did great with them.
His amulet, he's got his 2 demon dogs, look like the dogs from Ghostbusters.
Yeah. No, they did.
Upgrade. And Moss
no, they have
done to perfection You
Yeah, he
know,
was another great, like you said, there was some great upgrades, and I know that I'm usually the odd man out on the other choice, but a lot of people always bring up Evil Seed, and some people say that they loved the upgrade of Evil Seed, but I tell you, that's the one time I'm odd man out usually, because everybody likes that. I said, I can't help it. I said, I love the Filmation Evil Seed. I said, it's such a strange, creepy depiction of this character. I mean, people could say, yes, it's an artichoke head, whatever they want to say, but that was such a unique, distinct look. I mean, especially when he shows up and you always see him hooded and then he reveals the face. But I mean, the powers he has, and yes, I know that Evil Seed gets his, big upgrade of powers, of course, in MYP, but I felt like I've seen that type of look for that Evil Seed in MYP in other cartoons for other versions of characters. It just looked familiar to me. And I'm not saying it was copying anything, but for my eyes, I felt like, I've kind of seen it. It doesn't really do nothing for me. But I'll take that creepy, like hiding in the shadows and then revealing himself, the artichoke Mossman. I mean, Evil Seed. I'll take that version from Filmation any day. I know I'm odd man out, but I do like the Filmation Evil Seed more than MYP.
I like both versions. I mean, I think there's room to embrace both of them. I think because Filmations was such a memorable character, there wouldn't be an Evil Seed in MYP if the Filmation Evil Seed was as popular as he was. And to a certain extent, I guess in the Marzo, they felt like, I don't know if they thought he was popular enough. I didn't recall there being a humongous fanfare for him, before, the 2000X series, of course. But, I mean, he was known by fans. I hated him, but, he was known by the fans. And,
Oh, real quick, I just want to say, Captain Chronic, thank you. He agrees. He loves Filmation Evil Seed. Also, Tom Charlton said Evelyn from MYP was hotter, so she wins. And Luis Coronado, he brings up a good character. I know you love this character, Tyler, and it would have been great to see what MYP could have done with him, and that was Negator. He said Negator was badass, but he never got any love, but that would have been a great character.
and to see Negator and the Nerbs in his maze and all that, oh, man, that would have been super
Getting
badass.
the charge from the Nerbs, too.
Like a white ponytail, just very snarky and, cocky and just looks like a formidable badass, like from a physical standpoint, but also very smart. And almost you could probably think of like Khan, like or Ricardo Montalban in Wrath of Khan. That's the
Yeah.
kind of someone who's very cocky and cold and calculating. Very smart and intelligent. I figured Negator is. That of course I like Game Plan. I love Negator in Filmation, so that would have been a fantastic addition to it.
Still can't believe he hasn't came out in figure form. I'm surprised that he has.
No, hoping to God that it seems so. I mean, there's so many one-shot villains like Azrog and Spydra and Negator that I almost feel like there's not so much of a fan following for those characters that Super 7 is going to take notice of it from a poll, or they're aware of their presence in the Filmation cartoon. Like for the Filmation sub, or even part of the Classics villains. Which I would much prefer to see classicized villains or versions of Azrog, Spydra, and Negator in the Nerbs. But if I had to have Filmation only, I'd be more than happy to have Filmation of all this and have the Nerbs sitting right here on my Filmation shelf.
Those would be cool. And I heard you starting to say Too Bad, which figure awesome, yes. Filmation terrible, MYP freaking awesome. As for Too Bad for me,
I always to this day still go towards the Filmation, or not Filmation, MYP's Larry DiTillio's depiction of the origin story of Too Bad. It's like two bounty hunters merged together for punishment, and now they're stuck like that. I like that idea. I like the idea that Tuvar and Badra are very intelligent, playing off the whole like original idea that Too Bad was a strategist, which means he's supposed to be an intelligent villain. You got two heads better than one. They can come up with the best plan of action for Skeletor's plan to steal the Diamond Ray disappearance a third time or something like that. Whatever the case may be, but at least makes Too Bad intelligent and formidable foe, as opposed to Filmation depicting him as a schlub with really bad voice.
Hate it. I hated everything. Like you said, from the voice to the
blue head, where he just got a smile on his face,
It was just too goofy. It was too simple-minded. It just played down that character because.
But they made him too, cotton candy, too bubblegum in the face. There was nothing threatening.
to go from an action figure that looks so damn wicked itself, and from the card back art and any other interpretation you could think of him, but just to think of that figure, how evil it looks. I mean, hell, in his name, Too Bad. It's like, oh my god, this is going to be one bad character. And yes, I know that Filmation did bubblegum up the cartoon and a lot of characters, but it's like, man, he just got it way too bad. Him and, of course, Spike-Or, because they can't have this, vicious-looking spiked character be that frightening in the cartoon. They turned him into just an absolute oaf with that voice. And oh, another character that just got the horrible treatment. And if we could only had Spike-Or and MYP, and like in the chat room, Daniel Maynard, I mean, he was like, what would have been like if you could have seen Lord Mask and Shakoti? Oh my god, in MYP, I would have lost my mind, I think.
Because when Larry DeTelio said he wanted to bring them into MYP, they're like, no, we don't need your idea. I mean, you're just like, God, man, no, we got our own original ideas of King Grayskull, and other, wonderful ideas to them and additions to the mythology. We don't need what you brought that's still really popular and resonates with fans today. It's just like, God, what were you thinking? With all these mistakes they made with. Well, we'll get into that when we do like a full on MYP discussion.
No, but when you think, like you said, if they brought characters that, like Count Marzo from Filmation, usually wasn't one of the most talked about characters, I didn't think, but for him to be brought and get
well known enough that you kind of felt.
But that's what I mean. But for him to get the MYP treatment, but then Shakoti.
I gotta adjust something. I can still hear you. Keep going.
Okay, but for them not to give us Shakoti and Lord Mask, I mean, they're the ones that are involved with the only part 2 episode in Masters of the Universe history, and that one was so remembered and so iconic, and one of the spookiest episodes you could think of. So for those characters to, like you said, kind of get thought like, oh, we wouldn't want them, like, you wouldn't want them? Who doesn't want them? Everybody knows Shakoti. I mean, especially for even being mocked, like they said, Shapupi, Shibuti, Shishimi. She gets all the crazy name treatments, but everybody knows Shakoti, and everybody knows Lord Mask. They're two very wicked and memorable characters from the memorable 2-parter. So when you said that they weren't into bringing them into MYP, that blows my mind. I couldn't picture why they wouldn't want to bring them in.
Almost as if like they just felt like we don't have enough episodes. It could be budgetary reasons, but almost felt like, there were so many like filler episodes that went nowhere, that are not fondly remembered, that they could have allowed Larry to bring in Granomir, Shakoti, Mask, and do a 2-parter, or even a single episode where it's Mask and Shakoti have been released from this tomb and they're getting ready to, or they've been released from deep within the lower catacombs of the Faceless One's tomb, or his pyramid, or I don't know. They could come up with something.
How great would they have been for reoccurring characters to see them popping up more than once?
I just see them. I would love to have seen them as like kind of like a couple, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, much kind of like what's hinted at, but a completely missed opportunity when you see some of the original stuff they brought up for NYP. They're like, God, man, that sucked. Why did they do that? Or all these throwaway characters that mean nothing, and that you've brought characters like Evil Seed and Marzo in, but you're not going to allow all these, the 2 most popular one-shot villains that were not evil warriors, so to speak. It just didn't make any sense. But God, they would have looked. And if, I'm quite sure, because Larry would have been the one writing the story, that we would have gotten one hell of an interpretation of Lord Mask and Shakoti.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why it just sucks we didn't get them. But again, there's so many characters that we could bring up. Like I said, this character discussion interpretation, this is something we can always pump in every other episode, every 3rd episode, wherever you'd want. We can always bring this up for everybody. But we'll probably transition here in a couple minutes into our discussion on the Snake Pit. But before that, I wanted to try something new to try to stump Tyler, and also everybody in the chat room. You can see what I'm doing too, and see if you could figure it out. And of course, those that are just listening, I can at least describe. But I wanted to do a version of Masters of the Universe Hangman. Now, I'm holding up here, and I just want to make sure that it does show up. I'm about a 5 second, 10-second delay, so I got to see that on the screen that I'm watching that this does pop up, and I'm. Can you see everything, Tyler? The whole piece of paper.
1 second here. I'm still trying to adjust something here.
Okay.
Because I got my. Hopefully, you can see mine here in a second too.
All right. Well, as long as you can see mine, I'll let everybody know out there that this is a Masters of the Universe character. It's a character.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Sorry about this, people. If you're
That's
watching
fine.
this,
You're fine. You're all
right.
Apologize.
Yes, I can see yours good.
All right. It's a character, and there's 2-part name, 4 letters in the first part of the name, 3 letters in the second part. So you got to start giving me letters. If you got one, I'll put it in there, and if you're wrong, I'll start making the hangman. So what letter do you have, Tyler?
B.
B?
Yeah.
As in boy?
Yes.
Nope. Let me put a head on there. All right. All right. I got a head on there, so go ahead. Another letter.
All right. M.
M as in Michael?
Yes.
Nope.
You bastard.
There comes the body. All right. You got 2 arms and 2 legs left. You better start getting some letters.
T.
T is in T-Rex. Nope. Here's your first arm. All right. Go ahead.
A.
Yes, you got an A. All right, there you go. That might help you out. GSP in the chat room. Wait, what did you say?
E.
E? Yes, there is an E. You got an E.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Okay.
You're doing pretty good so far. You got the letter A is on the is on the first part of the 4 letters in the first name, and you got the E in the middle of the 3 letters of the second part of the name.
All right, R.
Yes! Oh, man, he's going to get it now. So, God, I was hoping you wouldn't get that, because now you're going to get it, damn it. Go ahead, you know what it is.
Something red.
Well, if you want another letter, say it.
D.
Nope, no D. Here's your next arm.
Okay, well.
You got two legs. You got to get it for those 2 legs or you're done.
I can't believe I'm drawing such a blank here on this one.
We have guesses of Moss Man. We got guesses of Evil Lynn in the chat room, but no.
That is not those. I'm gonna say O.
Nope, no O. Oh, you're 1 leg away from being hangmaned out. I think you'll get it. I think you're gonna get it.
You keep saying that.
You will this time. I guarantee it. He's still trying, people. I'll just talk while he's trying to figure out a letter. I didn't want to have any dead spaces silent. Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren's sister. Shut up, Tom Charlton. Somebody, what a nutcase.
Oh.
He's still trying. He's still trying, people. He's just looking. For those who are just listening to us, Tyler's he's looking around. He's trying to figure out another letter. He looks a little perplexed. I know he's probably going to want to choke me through the screen after he gets the name of this character. I know. You know, I always have to.
M.
Did you say M?
Yes.
You already said M earlier, so I'll let you do another letter.
I thought I said N.
Nope. I thought you said M. So do you want to say N or no?
I'll say N.
Nope. There it is, Hangman. Okay, I'm going to write this out. Tyler, don't you get mad either. Do not get mad. I figured you'd know because of my obsession of this character that I've brought up a whole lot. People in the chat room are going to hate this too, but Here we go. It's Zuba Rex. You know my love for.
Dude, who the hell is that?
Remember that's the dinosaur creature from the game I showed you years ago. I always post Zuba Rex on Facebook.
Why the hell would you sit there and keep saying, I think you're gonna get it? You know it. You're gonna get it. Go to hell.
I thought you remember.
No, and I don't feel ashamed that I didn't get that.
I thought you remember my obsession on this character,
No.
Zuba Rex.
Yeah,
okay.
You mentioned it's some random episode from like 30 episodes ago, and somehow I'm supposed to be convinced, oh, God, Joey's got a boner for some made-up character in the magazine.
I'm sorry. I was for sure you... Okay. I'm sorry.
No, I would not remember that.
I had to do it.
I can feel trap memory, but not for things I'm like, who? What?
We got people in the chat room saying, Zuba Rex? What? And Ivan, thank you for joining us. Said, I have to Google this. I know Jackie Miller. Sorry about that. Okay, now Tyler's going to... He's got one for me. He's probably going to hate me now. All right. Could you raise it up just a little bit? Because the thing at the bottom is... Okay, it's 1, 2, 3. So it's a 3-word name of a character?
Well,
or is this a place or vehicle or character?
Well, it's character related, yes.
Oh, it is a character. Okay. I will say an E.
Oh, Joe's got a head here.
Damn it! I'm gonna have a head already.
Oh, don't worry, Joe. I'm sure you know who they are. You know, you're popping boners over these characters all the time.
Smart ass. Okay, give me a. There's got to be an A. There's got to be an A as in a motto.
Yes, there is an A.
Okay. I'll have to see where that A's at. Oh, there's a couple A's there. Wait, I should. How the hell do I know this? An L?
Oh, Joe's got a body here.
Damn it! 1 second. All right, let me see if it's How about an N as in no?
You have one N. Okay,
I got an N. All right. How you doing, Ghost Freak? I see you in the chat room. Okay. Oh, no wonder why. When I'm looking at it here, it's backwards. I got to look at it on the screen when it comes up here. Okay, you leave it up there because when you're holding it up, the puzzle is backwards, but when it shows up here at the bottom, I can see it in the correct order. So I'll just wait for a second to pop up. That's why I was a little thrown off. Just say something, Tyler, so it'll pop up on the screen.
All right, come on here, people. Come on, Joe. Come on, Joe. You know this one, Joe. Come on, Joe.
D. Oh, D. D is in dork.
Yes, 1D.
All right, because I figured that's and.
2D, excuse me.
Okay. I don't know if I said it. Oh no, shoot! I shouldn't say. In I, as in I.
No I. You got one arm, Joe.
Why am I screwing up on this so bad? Oh wait, I got it. It's Azrog and Spydra.
Yeah, see, I went for something that people are aware of, not some sort of made-up character from a European, backroom pamphlet,
Okay, wait, hold on. For everybody, just stay right there. I have this by me so people don't think I'm insane, but hold on. Just keep talking, Tyler.
Yes, it was Azrog and Spydra, so I decided to keep it within the realms of reality here and not...
Okay. All right, for people...
No one else on this planet is.
All right, so for people who are hating me, there's this Masters of the Universe role-playing game.
See what we did now? We're going to kill time talking about. Joe did this purposely so we can kill the media discussion.
I did not.
Look what I got on eBay here, people.
No, so I've had this game since I was a kid, but there's this character that is right here. I'll try to get it close. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's this character named Zuva Rex that looks like a kind of a dinosaur type creature. He's got this like spiked tail. He's real ugly, and he's in the instruction book. I mean, he's in here, but that's the character I'm talking about is Zuva Rex, that dinosaur. So there, I mean, people do know him. He's known, right? Everybody in the chat room. Yep. See, they all said they know him. Actually, they didn't, but yeah. So I had to bring that up, and it comes with this really cool. It's an exclusive. It's a comic book / instruction guide that I mean, it has how to play the game, but it's an actual comic book too. It's cool. It's all black and white, but it's kind of something unique that was just for that game. So, of course, Zuba Rex looks a little different in the actual comic book when they're showing a character guide or just description. He looks like he looks like this fire demon where my finger's at right here. He looks like some kind of weird, kind of crazy fire demon. I don't know why they depicted him like that in the rule book, but as for the game tokens that you play on the board, he looks like a dinosaur. So, here we go. So, sorry about that. Yeah. I had to do that. But next week, I will not do something super obscure. The next time I do it, I will not do that. I'll pick somebody that's more known that people would know. So,
doesn't have to be known, but for God's sake, man, we're talking about a role-playing game that, I'm quite safe in saying the vast majority of the He-Man fan community, including myself, has never heard of such a character. It's not that memorable when you brought the character up so many eons ago.
I was for sure. I was hoping somebody knows.
Joe got me here, whereas I provided something a little bit more fun.
I'm gonna next week. I'll play it normal though. I swear. I'll get it pretty normal, and everybody in the chat room knows.
Someone found like a Spanish translation book, and somehow there's like a goof in the background. There's like an insect character standing in the background. He's been given the name, Termitor.
Well, Ghost Freak in the chat room said, "Well, he's a fire dinosaur demon." Yeah, I guess you just throw them all together. He's a whole bunch of crap. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I had to do a little crazy stump entertainment, and yeah, Joe did that on purpose. I figured that it might be super obscure, but I had to do it. So, well, Tyler, go ahead. We can move into our discussion now of a really good MYP episode. So go ahead, you bring it up, and we'll bring our thoughts up on this, which I'm sure hopefully most people in the chat room maybe have watched this episode.
Yeah, our big focus here is talking from the season 1 MYP episode, The Snake Pit, which depicted Cobra Khan and Zodak in their new upgraded versions with new kind of interpretations visually and story-wise as well. We're given a black Zodak with tattoos and a different backstory with him. Cobra Khan is a pro snake man through and through, and just kind of a temporary evil warrior for Skeletor. And and we get Ratlore depicted a hell of a lot better than he was given in Filmation.
This was a brain explosion, though, for fans that are wanting to see a lot of their characters.
This is one of the biggest reasons why the island, which features Decker, made me so mad, is that when this episode aired, it was just a mind blower. Like, oh my God, we've got Zodak, Ratlore, Cobra Khan hints at the Snake Man with King Hiss. It was just like, how oh my God, this is incredible.
And not only that,
following Saturday,
I was going to say not only all those characters, but the one that hit me beyond hitting all the ones you just mentioned, when Webstore made his little cameo, I lost it. I was like, God, how much stuff are they going to stuff in our faces? Not to mention, the quick little, I guess, look, King Hiss in the background in darkness, just everything that was just, it was just too much.
And then, which I didn't find out till after the episode aired, that Oedipus, or what the little creature in the jail cell, would become Stinkor, which I looked at, I didn't see it until like people were posting on forums. Hey, did you guys know that was Stinkor? Look at his eyes. I'm like, really? That's Stinkor? And I was like, I took it as like, okay, okay, maybe it is. I don't know. And then sure enough, the episode comes along. Yes, it was. So, but there was so many epic things happening in this episode. Like, some of it was first time, some of it was done properly, or just completely done differently. It was in a much enjoyable manner. It was such a high, that episode, when it aired, because of all the stuff going on in it. So it was interesting to see Zodak's updated version where
Yeah.
not so much a cosmic enforcer, but just kind of a great kind of Yoda like warrior, so to speak, but not so much Yoda in his way of thinking. Very uh, self centered, so to speak. He's not really about working with others for this. It's at least for the most part.
But he felt really eternal about him because knowing how long he's been around, and he was back around the time of like with King Hiss and all of them before him and the elders, banished all the snake men to the void. It was cool seeing just how ancient and wondering how powerful this man really is and how he's high up in these mountains. They had to make such a trek to
He's
go there.
like an ancient warrior, so to speak.
Yeah,
He's like
yeah.
like the great warrior of the elders. Like he is the one that they would call on to handle like the greatest threats of all.
Yeah,
So
I mean, he's in such a far off place that not even the Wind Raider, which another thing dropped. It's like, cool, hey, there's the Wind Raider, which we never got the Wind Raider in MYP toy form. I mean, in toy form, but they couldn't even take the Wind Raider anymore because the winds and the snow was so much that they had to, trek by foot then, which was, Prince Adam, Man at Arms, and Tila. So it was a hell of a trek to get there from the Sorcerer's Telling to find Zodak to seek him out, for his help. Because how it started off, you seeing that little kind of lizard creature is what helped break Cobra Khan out of his jail cell. He was stuck in there, but he was able to get the keys, get it to Cobra Khan, and then, of course, you got to see Cobra Khan do his thing, which was great to finally see him, in action, which led to everything else.
yeah, he was another very well done upgraded character, and it was I was kind of bummed to see him be more of a Snake Man supporter as opposed to someone who's joining up with the Evil Warriors, because to me Cobra Khan is a member of Skeletor's crew, not a Snake Man. So in that part, that was my only nitpick about the character, is that he is a Snake Man supporter through and through. I just don't see him like that. But for this show, I guess it was fine. But it was awesome because it was shocking you just didn't expect to see. I mean, it was interesting story wise to go this way by releasing Ratlore and having them kind of be a duo and set them up for season 2 to release the Snake Man, but throwing all these hints of King Hiss, and you're like wondering. My biggest question was, are they going to show the rest of the Snake Man? Like, are we going to see Tongue Lasher? Like, biggest thing is, like, are we actually going to see Squeeze and Snake Face at some
Yeah,
point?
and they sure made you wait, yeah, because
Oh,
there were characters that I've always loved. I mean, I love Squeeze.
incredible, because when you get to
Yeah,
see the Warriors come out, so it was, the big fight inside the void, I guess, room, so to speak, in Snake Mountain, deep in the catacombs of Snake Mountain, where you get the void, and for them to have released Rattler when he comes out and tears part of his dead skin
yeah,
off
like
of.
shed some of that skin. Yeah, and
I will
Jamie.
say this was the best version of Rattler throughout the entire season. Like, his voice was spot on perfect, and they never got it right after this episode. It changed, just like with Beastman.
Yeah,
And when he comes out and he grabs Zodak with his tail and lifts his face up, it says Zodak. Just the way he says it, it's very menacing. And when he says, "I will feed you to King Hiss myself, Zodak, just like your brother." And it was just, God, he sounds so cool. And it was awesome to get to see Rattler use his head striking,
he did
in
it quite a bit too. You're right. He was doing that a lot where he's doing the head strike. At first, I want to say hello to Jamie V in the chat room. Thanks for joining us. But no, what was cool about this episode? I mean, like you said, so many of the things that was going on, but like Cobra Khan, it's you don't ever want to overthink things. Like, I wonder how it happened, but he on his belt buckle, he had that kind of like amulet that basically, opens the
yeah.
void. You could say, how did he get it? Well, you know what? Throughout the hundreds of years, just I'm sure there was a way he acquired it. You leave it at that. You don't need to think beyond that. But when they go to find Zodak and ask him for his help, he wants to take care of this because King Hiss ate his brother, so it's like he's wanting revenge. He wants to make sure that definitely King Hiss, none of them get out of this.
Since when you set this up with Zodak, and then season 2, we need to find a reason to get the Snake Man out. So we're going to set Zodak out to actually let them defeat him so we can take the staff and let them. It just seems so silly. He's trying to
Yeah,
stop.
because
Story wise, no sense, and that's why Rise of the Snake Men sucks in season 2. So
Yeah, well, yeah, because like in this one, you see he wants to go out and do it himself. He doesn't want help, but obviously, man.
Stop them from getting out. Whereas in season 2, he's, He-Man's like, you let them beat you up so that you could let King Hiss out. Like, that makes no sense.
No, it's true. No,
the biggest dumbass in season 2.
True. But for in this episode, though, yeah, they all definitely know they got to follow him because he's probably going to need help. And when he makes, I'll admit, when Zodak made his entrance into Snake Mountain, busting through, I just like how all the evil warriors are standing there almost like, what the hell is going on? And he's walking all right past them and up to Skeletor, and then, makes his threat, and then they all kind of laugh at him. And then Evil Lynn, takes her, she does one of her rhyming things with her rhyming spells about sticking to a wall, and then he uses his staff to deflect and knocks all of the evil warriors, including Skeletor, onto that wall, and then they're stuck. And eventually Skeletor gets down after, using his power to get the Havoc staff. But it showed, wow, how bad is this Zodak? But then when he has his battle with Cobra Khan bests Zodak. I mean, he basically, you could say, defeats him. When they're engaged in their battle, Cobra Khan got the best of him. He did that acid out of, his hood, which dissolves Zodak's mask and screwed up his...
Very cool. It was such an exciting moment to see them bring back the Cobra hood from Filmation. And instead of mist, he spits acid out. It was like, oh, and that was awesome to see.
That's what I mean. So it was cool to see his different abilities now. Because like you said, he's melting that, he melts his helmet. He screws up his eyes. I mean, he did take care of them. And another kind of cool thing that you can see maybe from Cobra Khan is when they were going to try to get to that amulet to close the void, he sat there and he shot out some more stuff that covered over the contraption to where the amulet was, and then Zodak tried to use his staff to bust through and couldn't. It's so strong, whatever crap he shot out of his hood was so strong that Zodak couldn't even penetrate it, and then He-Man had to use his sword. It took both of them to penetrate to try to activate to close that void. But I don't know if you realize, I was like, damn, they really portrayed Cobra Khan as a quite formidable opponent. I mean, he wasn't just some little weakling that was getting kicked to the side. He took it to Zodak, who basically Zodak is supposed to be, you'd think, one of the super all-powerful in this episode, especially how he dismissed all the evil warriors, and then Cobra Khan was able to take it to Zodak. I found that kind of cool. I like seeing Cobra Khan show that, he could be, a badass warrior.
Yeah, they do a good job of building him up because he's not necessarily defeated. They take off after, He-Man and Zodak get back out of the void. Of course, Skeletor shows up, and Cobra Khan does fear Skeletor in that sense, so it's not like Cobra Khan is impervious to any kind of threat. He realizes oh, shit, excuse me.
Yeah, because first he was trying to tell Skeletor he was working. He shows up,
and when he mouths off and says that we're going to release King Hiss, and Skeletor's like, really? And that's when Cobra Khan looks like, oh my god, what have I done?
He knows now. Yeah.
So he's not completely impervious, but you don't want to build up what is supposed to be one of the evil warriors / Snake Men to be more powerful than Skeletor. It wouldn't make much sense. Although you've got Zodak coming in, taking all of them out, and then it's all over the place. But you know what? You start to overthink it. You take all the fun out of it. It's great to see all these characters because everybody, Zodak, He-Man, Skeletor, Cobra Khan, Rattler, they all get great moments in the action sequences and how they're portrayed as their new upgraded characters. So it's an exciting moment for me when I saw it to see He-Man confront the Snake Men for the first time. When he comes crashing down and the Snake Men turn and look, you're like, oh my god, this is a big moment. This is He-Man meeting the Snake Men for the first, not King Hiss, but Rattler and the Snake Men army. Like, to me, this is just as important as He-Man meeting Hordak for the first time. That's a moment. So when he comes, and whenever I watch that episode, and they all stop and look, and the music kicks in, you're like, oh man, this is a big moment here. And He-Man meeting Cobra Khan for the first time, and
that's what I like, because you're right. When he finally shows up and then he has this battle and he's after Cobra Khan and they jump from one spot to another and go onto that one pillar. And then when Cobra Khan gets on that part and is almost sliding, here comes He-Man, suddenly a blast, you're like, what happened? And that's when Skeletor returned. He showed up and he knocked He-Man all the way down into the void to where he was down on the ground, almost out. Zodak had to go down there to try to help him because when he came down there, I believe all those snake warriors picked up He-Man and was dragging him going towards King Hiss, but then Zodak shows up to kind of help because yeah, you're thinking, oh Jesus, what could happen to He-Man here? So it was like more, I think, of just showing all these cool different characters and things going on because He-Man didn't get to really have his normal time to shine. He did do some stuff, but it wasn't the typical episode where you see He-Man really kicking butt through the whole thing.
Up things to come, and that's what this episode does such a great job of doing. It sells you on the threat of the Snake Men coming. It sells you on Zodak's purpose in all of this. You can't wait to see more of this. You know, especially when you were given hints at Stinkor and Web Store. You just like, oh my God, we got so many great things coming our way. We don't know when they're going to show up or how they're going to show up, but they are coming. So, which, you know, some of the stuff that does show up, you may be disappointed with some of it. Maybe you loved all of it. I have no idea.
I can't tell you though, Tyler, real quick. I can't tell you the amount of times because I recorded and I still have all those episodes on VHS.
Still got them all on tape as well.
Yep, yeah. I can't tell you how many times I were around just to watch Web Store. I just lost my mind when I see it. I was like, that was Web Store. And after I was done with the episode, I go back to see him. I was like, oh damn, when's he coming? When's he coming? I
really thought of like, oh my God, are they going to team up Web Store and Cobra Khan just like Filmation? I was just like, oh, I was beside myself. I could not. I'm like, they're going to team up. It's going to be great. And then you don't see Web Store, you know, until Council of Evil in season 2. At least here in America. I know in Canada they got Council of Evil part 1 and 2. Whereas in the States we weren't given Council of Evil till season 2.
And of course you said, yeah, we never got the classic team up with those two because now since Cobra Khan is more of the Snake Man, yeah.
Those two versions of Cobra Khan and Web Store teaming up again, just like old times. But the Snake Pit to me is definitely one of the high marks of the MYP series for both season 1 and 2 because it got a lot of good stuff right. It had a lot of great introductions for characters that were being brought into this new mythology and universe, and you know, it kind of makes you wonder, like, God, they missed the mark with the Snake Men in general. They have a few good moments. Overall, I think it was a big fail. And this episode sets the Snake Men up as, I mean, epic as hell. This was going to be, or what should have been, I mean, a major ass kicker of a story arc, and it wasn't. It just fell flat. Like with wrestling, it was a great introduction to this great new heel, and you're building him up, and then you get John Cena comes in and squashes him real quick. And you're like, okay, well, there goes that program. Now what do we do for the next 3 months?
You're like always bringing up that, and here comes John Cena. Every time, here comes John Cena.
He comes in and does this to King Hiss and gives him the F5. And, you know, hey, well, the great big heel that's going to go all the way to WrestleMania from the Rumble has just been squashed on Raw for free. So what are we going to do to build to WrestleMania? I don't know. We'll just have them wrestle for free, and we'll keep redoing the same match. It'll be great.
Right. Oh, Jesus. So this, yeah, for those who maybe have never seen this episode, yes, Snake Pit is just, I mean, it's a fantastic episode, like, full of so many different characters, great moments, good action, but, yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of just anything in general, you're just going to love it, because, like you said, you were just given so much. So, if you've never seen it, watch it. If you've seen it before and haven't seen it in a while, YouTube it. I mean, it's on YouTube. You can definitely still see this. Just a great episode.
Yeah, I highly recommend this episode too. It does. I mean, and maybe a lot of people who love what happened in season 2 think it's great. I think great. I think that's wonderful. I'm glad you enjoyed it. But for me, this was one of the better episodes. I would put this in the top 5 episodes of both seasons because it was a great episode. It's still a fun watch, and they got a lot right. I mean, they really did. It was interesting take on Zodak, interesting take on Rattler and Cobra Khan, and it was just kind of adding a little bit more depth to those characters and kind of maintaining that same kind of storyline with King Hiss in the original storyline of like being trapped down within the depths of Snake Mountain and being unleashed, like in King of the Snake Men. It's kind of the same thing here. Just the whole Snake Man clan themselves are unleashed.
Yeah, I didn't dislike anything. There was nothing I didn't like in this episode. I liked it all. Like I said, you could question certain things here and there, you know, about parts or story arcs, but no, it just takes the fun out of it. It's a great episode from beginning to end. So definitely watch this if you haven't seen it.
I say can't say enough about Snake Pit. It really is. It's a fantastic episode.
definitely. So, all right, well, that was our discussion on the snake pit. So, well, Tyler, before we wrap it up, do you have anything that you want to say? Any recommendation stuff? What you got for us?
This little item my mom made for me. She makes these little painted rocks. It's a popular thing in my area where people paint rocks and hide them throughout town at local parks and stuff like that. So kids and people have found them. And I told her she could make one of He-Man, like a He-Man related one. So I had her put together this
Oh,
little
sure.
rock.
Oh, look at your mom. I didn't know she was talented like that. That is a cool
She's
little.
become a junkie for painting these rocks, and she just paints various things. She did like a Deadpool rock for one of my sister-in-law's friends' kids, and
I like it.
I told her, like, if you're gonna do, you gotta do like an Orko one or something simple. So I sent her a bunch of pictures of Orko, and she came up with this, and I was super stoked. I was like, I'm showing this on the podcast.
That is awesome, man. I tell you what, do you think she can make me a Zuba Rex? I'll send her the picture.
I even told her, I said, I could even like tell me if we'd like a painted rock of a He-Man character or something simple. You contact my mom, Becky.
Yeah.
She's on Facebook. If you want a painted rock or something like that, just I'll show it again here for people. Is it showing up?
Go to the other. Go to right there. Stop right there. Perfect. That is so freaking cool. I mean, could you picture that? Your mom becomes super popular for painting rocks and selling them. She could make a ton of damn money. Oh my god, this is genius. She should make her own Facebook page saying, "Masters of the Universe painted rocks." I mean, I wanna do Rex.
It's like, were you embarrassed doing something He-Man related on a rock? She said, no, I wasn't embarrassed because we've always been at odds because I'm still into He-Man. She always expected me to be out of it like 30 years ago. But
Tyler, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. Tell her if she could, I would love a Zuba Rex. I'll send the picture to her. If she could make me a Zuba Rex, that would become an iconic piece in my collection. And I'm not lying. I'd put that right up there. I'd love to have Zuba Rex on a rock. I'd lose it. It'd be my Zuba Rock.
I will take it. I told her I would bring it up on the podcast and almost like joked, like, hey, people say this. Maybe they'll want a cow on a rock or a Lukey, or they may want hell, I don't know, the horde symbol on a rock. You never.
I just coined the phrase. It's Zuba Rocks. That's what I'd call it. Zuba Rock. And,
if you want some more rock people, for your He-Man collection.
Oh, you lost it. Wait, you just did it. You got to have Stone Darn Rock on painted on there. Oh, this is too much. Your mom's going to be getting money.
To do like a full body of Stone Darn Rock, but I think their faces, like a filmation, version, or like an illustration of Stone Darn Rock on these rocks.
Oh, how about this? How about this? If she can find some smooth rocks, oval shape, she can do the meteorbs too. Oh, this is too much. I can't take this.
A lot of fun to be had here. I'll have to tell her about that. She'll get a kick out of that.
Hey, we might even have her do one and have it be a giveaway for like some, for the people here in the chat room and for the podcast.
Do that if people in the chat room are responding to it or something like that. I would definitely.
Yeah, no, there's JSP said cool rock. Jamie V said the rock art is great. So no, people think that's a great idea. They love it. That's pretty cool. So yeah, your mom might.
All right, when I see her on Tuesday, she'll be quite happy about that.
She's gonna be onto something. That's great. So I'm glad you shared that, man. So God, I lost my train of thought because that actually got me excited.
Wrapping it up. I don't have a question lined up for the Leech mini comic this week, so I apologize for that. So I'll try to have one lined up next week. Don't have any recommendations really. Just I've enjoyed doing the episode, and I'd recommend going to popculturenetwork.com and He-Man.org to get your He-Man information, things like that. Check out Axel Jimenez's art, Kevin Sharp's artwork, Joe Amato's customs.
Your mom, check out his mom's rock page
on Facebook. Becky Agee. If you want a He-Man rock, you send her a message. Hey, your son mentioned you on the He-Man podcast. He-Man podcast. Can I get one of Spikor? Or something like that. So it'll be. And she's done a pretty good job with them. But other than that, I don't have a whole lot to to plug or anything like that. There, I'm just.
Right. I think you did well enough, especially with that and everything else. Yeah, I think you did pretty well.
My mom's rocks. That's my plug for the evening there. There you go.
Love it. I love it. So, all right. Well, I wanted to thank every one of you in the chat room. It's always a blast having you. I love the interaction, all your comments and feedback and everything.
Showing up. I appreciate that. And thank you for everybody who listens to this after we've recorded it, whether you download it, watch us on YouTube, thank you very much for devoting your time in your day to listen to us. We
Yeah,
thank
we always appreciate it from live to when you listen to it later. We always love it. Like I said, we love the feedback. We love having you here, and we always hope you have a great time when we do this. So, well, I'll just say what I always say. I'll say go to fansofpower.com, go to popculturenetwork.com, go to hemanworld.com, and on Facebook, go to Masters of the Universe He-Man and She-Ra Ultimate Fan Group. All great places, all great people. So until next time, have a powerful day.
your clothes. Give them to me now.
Oh, good. I at least know that. That's Terminator. See, I didn't fail you that time. Like last week, I failed and I couldn't even get Masters of the Universe.
I wouldn't have been surprised if you'd bombed at Terminator also.
Yeah, that last week's was bad, but I'm still gonna say I was sick, man. You got to give me some some leeway. I was sick and I had a fever, so I didn't know what was going on. But all right, man. Well, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for joining
All right.
us.
Till then.